waiting to dissect this interesting topic. We encourage you to give us a call on 027371619. Remember, this is coming live right now from Radio Voice of Naija, your popular radio program. As an introduction, cardiovascular diseases, also called heart diseases, is a class of disease that involve the heart or the blood vessels, arteries, capillaries, and veins, or both. Heart and blood vessel disease, cardiovascular disease, also called heart diseases, includes numerous problems, many of which are related to a process called atherosclerosis. Atherosclerosis is a condition that develops when a substance called plaque builds up in the walls of the arteries. This buildup narrows the arteries, making it harder for blood to flow through. If a blood clot forms, it can stop the blood flow. This can cause a heart attack or stroke. High blood pressure is a serious condition that can lead to a coronary heart disease, heart failure, stroke, kidney failure, and other health problems. Blood pressure is a force of blood pushing against the walls of the arteries as the heart pumps blood. If this pressure rises and stays high over time, it can damage the body in many ways. Our guest today is a food nutritionist who have her practice here in Southeast. Welcome, Ms. Shanaz, to Radio Voice of Naija Good Morning Show. Welcome, please.
Thanks.
Well, tell our listeners a little bit about yourself and your practice.
Now, I'm a dietitian here in Amsterdam Zuidoost for the last 2.5 years now. I work with 2 other colleagues in the health centers of Zuidoost and at Paramedisch Praktijk Hartstee. We have a practice from Monday up to Friday. No evening practice, but just working hours, and we see a lot of different kind of people.
Okay.
With different kind of diseases or questions related to food.
All right.
Yes.
Okay, so are you comfortable discussing on this topic, high blood pressure?
Yes, of course, I'm comfortable with that, because we see a lot of people in the practice with high blood pressure.
Yeah.
Also a lot of people from African heritage has high blood pressure, but also people from the Antilles and Suriname.
Right, so from the group you have just made mention of, the Africans, the Antillians, the Surinamese, or is it that high blood pressure is peculiar to people of the Negroid race?
They have a lot of research done about that, and what always comes out is that the salt intake has more effect on the blood pressure in that group of people.
Really? So does that mean that the Caucasites, the white, they don't take salt?
Yeah, they take salt, and they also has a high blood pressure, but the impact of the sodium is a little higher with the African people.
All right. Would you please?
But it's not only that, of course. It's also the lifestyle. And
would you please tell our listeners what causes high blood pressure? How does it come?
The blood pressure, how it really starts, is not. How do you say that? It's not.
The Dutch word, if you...
Ja, the Dutch word. It's not, hoe zeg nou? Het is niet uit onderzoek gebleken
not from research, not
yeah,
based on research.
How it starts, but an unhealthy lifestyle, not eating healthy, a lot of sodium, a lot of saturated fats, smoking, unhealthy weight can help to ontwikkelen. To develop high blood pressure. Yeah, thanks.
So you said smoking.
Yeah.
And then unhealthy weight or
unhealthy weight. Yeah, yeah. Because the higher the weight, the more pressure the blood has to go through. The more the heart has to pump.
Okay, so somebody out there who is listening to this program, if you are battling with your weight or your weight is too high, too big, then you have a risk of having a high blood pressure. Is that?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Wow.
That can be a risk.
Okay. And then, what is a normal blood pressure?
A normal blood pressure should be 130, 140. That is, we call the systolic. And the diastolic should be between 80 and 90. So not above 140 over 90.
Okay, so the top one is 130 or 40, and then the low one, which you normally
80,
counts, is 80 to 90.
Yeah.
So if it reaches 100, it's high, is that?
Yeah, it's high then.
Really? Does that vary from age to age?
It varies from age to age, but let's say if you're older than 80, then your blood pressure may be higher. And then it's around 160, maybe 90, 100. But that's the older age. But everybody under that should have a good blood pressure.
Wow. So what health problems are associated with high blood pressure? We want you to be very honest to tell us from your practice, because I believe that you've been dealing with several thousands of people in your practice, and more especially your practice is based in a multicultural environment.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you see thousands of people who have this problem. So what is associated? What health problem is associated with high blood pressure?
Now, having high blood pressure for a longer time, during a longer time, you see that people can develop the cardiovascular diseases, the ones you mentioned, a heart attack or a stroke. That's an attack in the head, but also heart failures, kidney diseases you can develop, but also you see high blood pressure in combination with diabetes and a high cholesterol gehalte. Don't know that word in Dutch. In English.
High cholesterol level.
Yeah, just a high cholesterol. Yeah, yeah. And all that with a high blood pressure, contributes to the cardiovascular diseases.
Yes.
It's clogging up the arteries, actually. Yeah.
Wow. So you also made mention of diabetes.
Yes.
So are all who have diabetes, are they supposed to have high blood pressure?
They don't supposed to have high blood pressure, but the risk is higher when having diabetes, also having a high blood pressure and a high cholesterol.
Well, if you are listening to this broadcast and you feel like calling in right now to ask a question from the professional herself, Shanaz, please feel free to give us a call right now on 020-737-1619. We are discussing on guarding against cardiovascular diseases. Well, we have a question here from the studio. Yes, Mr.
Yeah, this may be a very simple question, but I want to know, when people grow, does the heart beat, or the ability of the heart to pump blood through the system, does it change? Like the older people get, does it get more, less slower? Does the heart pump more slowly, or it pumps at the same rate throughout the person's life?
Slowly.
Pumps more slowly. Okay. All right.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much for that question. I want to know how would one know if he or she have high blood pressure? Say it from a lay person's point of view, because I believe this broadcast is meant to help those who are out there. So not all of us are medical practitioners from medical homes. So tell us from a layman's point of view, how would one identify, or how would one know if he or she have high blood pressure?
The symptoms for there aren't any symptoms for high blood pressure. So you can feel it if your blood pressure is rising. The best thing and the only thing you can do is go to the doctor or the doctor assistant, and they can measure the pressure.
So there are no symptoms?
No. Some people say that they have a headache, but it's only if your blood pressure is very high, over the 200, and over the 200, you can maybe feel some headache. But in general, you cannot feel it, and you have to let it measure by the doctor or the doctor's assistants.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the only way to know.
Yeah, that's the only way to
know.
know.
And if you are in a place where you cannot measure, what then? How would you guide yourself?
In a place where you cannot measure.
Exactly.
And there's no doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm.
Because in some rural areas,
Yes.
we don't have the doctors over there. So how would they know?
That's a very difficult one, because just as I said, the symptoms there aren't any symptoms of that. But I think if still trying to be healthy, walking every day, trying to eat healthy foods, fruits and vegetables, that's the only way you can deal with if you have high blood pressure, and minimizing your saturated fats.
Mm-hmm. Really? Wow, it didn't come out very clear to me. Can you explain that again, please?
Mm-hmm. Because if you cannot measure your blood pressure, you don't know if you have high blood pressure.
Yeah.
So that's a very difficult one. So the only thing that you can do is look at your lifestyle. Is walking every day for minimum of a half an hour, up tempo. Try to eat healthy, having every day fruits and vegetables, minimizing the salt if you're using salt or salty products, and minimizing the saturated fats. That's the only thing that we can do.
Wow. So what is you are a dietitian?
Yes.
All right. So what are the best ways to eat?
The best
because
ways.
I've heard you making mention of healthy eating.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What are the healthy ways to eat?
The healthy ways to eat for the high blood pressure is to first start minimizing the salt intake, the sodium. After that, it's a good thing to have a lot of fruits, to maybe 3 pieces of fruits per day, and a lot of vegetables. Fiber. Those are important things actually for the arteries to keep them in a good condition and to bring down the pressure. And try to eat 3 meals per day.
3 meals?
3 meals per day, yeah.
What do you mean by fiber?
Fiber?
Yes.
Fiber is what we find in brown bread, or potato has also fiber, or rice, there's also fiber in rice.
So they have to eat that?
Yeah, yeah.
A lot?
Yeah. Let's say if we want to mention some numbers, maybe 4 slices of bread per day, and a good portion of rice or potatoes.
Okay. Wow. Yes, another question, please.
You said people must eat three times a day. If somebody eats once a day, can that be a problem? Would that lead to health problems?
That can lead to health problems because you can your body needs vitamins and minerals, and you cannot put everything the body needs in one meal. So the best thing is to spread it during the day.
Okay, if somebody decides to, let's say, fast, you know what I mean by fast?
Not eating.
Abstain from food, let's say for a week or 2 or 3, how bad can that be for the person's health in terms of, you saying the person, we need to eat 3 times a day to spread the meal. So I understand that fasting does have health advantages. So
Yes.
how do we contrast the two?
If you're fasting for a longer time, and that's more than 3 weeks, it shouldn't be that of a great problem to diseases. If you have something, it's very important to keep on drinking some liquid. It shouldn't be a problem because in a lot of religions, it's important to sustain yourself from food. So that shouldn't be a problem. If you're healthy, you're not you don't have diabetes, you're not using medication for the diabetes, then it should not be a problem. But I don't think you can fast abstain yourself from food for months, because then it's not good, of course.
So
your body has a reserve.
So during the fast, it's okay to abstain. I mean, not eat 3 times a day.
Yeah.
And still be okay.
Yeah.
There'll be no problems with high blood pressure or whatever.
No.
Thank you.
Because the medication from the blood pressure you can take in without eating, but you have kinds of medication by diabetes that you need to eat. So for the people with diabetes who takes insulin, for instance, it's not healthy to sustain themselves from food.
So, thank you so much. So why is it so necessary for us to have control? Or why is it important to control the blood pressure?
It's important to control the blood pressure because it's the blood pressure is not a disease, but it's a risk factor. Not the lower, but the healthier your blood pressure is, the best it is for your arteries. Because the higher the blood pressure is during a longer time, you can develop the arteriosclerosis, and that helps. It clogs actually the arteries.
Yes.
And by clogging the arteries, a part of the heart, if it happens in the heart, a part of the heart can die, and then you can develop a stroke or a heart attack. And that's something we don't want. Of course.
Wow. Well, somebody out there listening to this broadcast, we are talking we are discussing guiding against cardiovascular diseases with Miss Shanaz, a dietitian who have his practice here in South Coast and have been exposed to all these multicultural people who dwell in South Coast. In case you have any of your questions, please feel free to give us a call right now on 020-737-1619. Thank you so much. This is Radio Voice of Naija coming live right now on 103.8 MHz cable and 105.2 MHz ether. Feel free to give us a call right now on the studio number 737-1619. Yes, mister, you have a question?
Yeah, for the heart that is maybe clogged with, the arteries rather, clogged, is there a way to remove the the clogging from the vessels, to free the vessels when it, I'm not speaking the microphone. Let me repeat. When the vessels have become clogged with whatever, and so the blood is not flowing very well, is there a way to unclog the blood vessels?
If one has a heart attack, they actually start, the first thing a person gets is medication to bloedverdunners, to make
the blood thinner.
make the blood thinner. And afterwards they have a lot of research. A person can be operated and get a stent or gedotterd. I don't know what that word is in English, but it's to widen the arteries so that with a medication to make the clog los op. Dissolve.
Yeah, to dissolve it.
Yeah, yeah.
Does that work?
That works, of course that works. Because just not only the medication, but it is the combination of the medication and the operation with the stents, or just to make the, with the balloon. They have a different kind of operations and technique they use to widen the arteries so that the blood can stream good. And it works.
Wow.
But also, if you don't change your lifestyle or keep on doing what you did before previous the infarct,
Yes.
you can get another one. So it is not one heart attack or one stroke and it stays by that. It can stay by that, but if you don't change your lifestyle, you can develop another one.
In other words, would you please tell our listeners who are likely to get high blood pressure?
The people.
Well, yes, we are most likely to get it.
Yeah.
Is it the fat ones or
the fat ones can get it, the people with the unhealthy weights, but also you see it by males and by females. The males get it earlier, like maybe around 50. The females maybe later on, around 55. You see a lot of, not a lot of, but it's important to look at your health.
Why do the male get it at 50 and the females at 55? What is the cause?
It is the arteries from the males clog up earlier than the arteries from the females, because out of research it is the way the arteriosclerosis develop by male is different than by the females. And it's out of the research, it is the female hormones that protect us. And after the menopause, it changes, and then we lose the female hormones, and actually we can develop heart attacks.
Wow, really?
Can we not keep the female hormones artificially?
No.
We're gonna keep the female hormones artificially.
No, because they also has try to give females the extra hormones afterwards, but there's a lot of pros and contras with that, because you can also develop breast cancer by giving extra female hormones, so it's not
so natural.
No.
So what other factors increases the chance of getting high blood pressure?
Okay, the high blood pressure is, as I told, the weight, inactive. So if you're not physical inactive, or if you're not walking every day or going to the sports hall, eating unhealthy, eating a lot of saturated fats, that contributes to the atherosclerosis. A lot of sodium in your food. Those are the main things.
Now, can you just be explicit? Saturated fats like what?
Saturated fats
come
are
a little bit down so that we can know what
like dairy products, a lot of meat, a lot of what you put on your bread, vleeswaren.
Yeah. Oh, those things.
Yeah. Those are a lot of products
Saturated
with
fat.
saturated fats.
What about fried,
Also,
fried foods?
yeah, fried fruits,
Like, I mean,
cookies, cakes, like the patat.
Yeah, fried.
Yeah, everything you fry is has a lot of saturated fats in it.
Wow.
But
So,
also chocolate. Yeah.
like we from Africa, we love fried plantains and fried fishes and all of those sort.
If you
So-
deep fry.
Yeah, deep. Yes,
Yeah.
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
So you are saying that these things are products that can promote high blood pressure. Is that?
It has, if you deep fry a product in the wrong oil sort, so you need to use an oil like sunflower or olive oil to, and try not to use too much oil, because you can fry fish and fry your plantain, but you shouldn't deep fry your plantain or fish.
Wow, that's the only way we get the taste. That's the only way we get the real taste. And then we can fry it very well. So somebody who is out there listening to us, you can hear it from the dietitian herself, that deep frying some of this stuff can really be health risky.
Yeah, because if you eat a lot of, if you have a lot of oil in your food, it contributes to an unhealthy weight. So if you want to eat the plantain or the fish or whatever you fry, try to use the good kinds of oil, the fats, to prepare the dinner. And afterwards you can also take a napkin to damp it and not absorb all the oil.
Yeah.
So you should make your food a healthy way,
Yes.
like put in more vegetables,
Yeah.
or actually put in vegetables or a salad by your food.
And that is very, very correct. Yeah, there are some of us who don't like to eat vegetables. They are food stuff. I was just discussing with somebody who is so precious to me. I said, how come that your foodstuffs are more of dry things than vegetables, you know? So there are some people who don't like to eat vegetables.
That's true.
I mean, they were not brought up that way.
Yeah.
But for health purposes, they have to adapt now.
Yeah. Because yes, the vegetables and the fruits are very important products in a healthy food, but it's also good. They has less sodium and more potassium into the products, and which just helps to lower the pressure. So if you're not brought up by eating vegetables by your dinner, you can have a little salad during the day, and a salad can be just tomato or cucumbers.
Yeah, exactly. Let me just ask you this funny question before we go on break now. Have you had cases of, or have you seen cases of people who are slim and yet they have high blood pressure?
Of course.
Slim?
Yeah, if the blood pressure...
I mean,
they're not overweight, they have a normal weight, and they still can develop a high blood pressure, because blood pressure can also, in some families you have a lot of people with blood pressure. So if your father, your mother, brothers and sisters have blood pressure, has developed blood pressure, your risk is higher, and that can also, if you're exercising, then it's more genetical that you can also develop the blood pressure, a high blood pressure.
Wow. So in a nutshell, high blood pressure can be a hereditary disease.
Yes. Yes.
Really?
Yes, really. For instance, in my family, from my mother's side, we have a lot of people with high blood pressure. My mother has high blood pressure, her mother had high blood pressure. So it's also important for me to take care of myself, to have a healthy exercise, to try to eat healthy, and also the stress. A lot of stress during a longer time can also develop the blood pressure.
So it doesn't really matter, even though you are so trendy, it doesn't really matter that you have the good shape.
No, because the risk is in the family. So the chance that I develop high blood pressure now or later on let's see, after the menopause, there is a chance that I can develop that. So the one thing that I'm trying to do now is try to exercise a couple of times per week and try to eat healthy. Yeah.
Well, we'll be taking a very short break now, but even in our break, if you feel like calling us to ask any question to the dietitian, Shanaz, give us a call on 020-737-1619. Guiding against cardiovascular diseases. This is coming to you live from Radio Voice of Naija. We are discussing on this issue, guiding against cardiovascular diseases, with Miss Shanaz, a dietitian who have a practice here in Amsterdam Southoost. Talking today on high blood pressure and some of the causes and what you need to do to prevent getting this sickness. Well, welcome once again, Shanaz, to this broadcast on Radio Voice of Naija. Welcome.
Thanks.
Having discussed so far with you some of the ways of controlling blood pressure, we would like to know from you, are there ways we can prevent high blood pressure? Are there ways that we can prevent high blood pressure?
The only ways you can prevent high blood pressure is to have in daily enough physical exercise, by walking or running for half an hour a day, and up tempo. Eating a lot of vegetables and fruits and fibers, minimizing the sodium, the salt in your food.
Yes.
And the saturated fats.
Saturated fats.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the dairy products, the animal fats, the cookies, the deep fried products, the chocolates.
Wow. Wow. Chocolates too.
Yes.
All of these good things.
Yeah.
When we don't have enough
Ice creams.
Oh really? Ice creams too. Wow. That means everything sweet, we are not supposed to eat them anymore.
No, I think you can eat them, but if it's the whole day on, then it's not good.
Okay. All right. Or somebody wants to ask a question here.
Yeah. I have a question for the lady. I love the way she's responding. I love the program because I'm a part of the blood pressure. That is my problem. I never sick before, but I've been in this situation for the past 10 years. It's never coming down. It's never going up. It stands still. But my question I want to ask is that I'm an innocent child, and I learned that you can even inherit this.
Hold on, caller, please. Hold on.
This high blood pressure from the family. Can you say something about that? I want to know if it's true that you can get it from your family.
Yes, you see in some families that the number of people with high blood pressure is higher than in other families, so it can. Okay.
Then I think it's not fair because I'm innocent. A child coming from the world, actually I can take somebody, you know.
Yeah.
It's just a pity.
Yeah,
I think that's why I'm suffering.
Well, we have another caller out there. We have another caller. Yes, caller. Yes. Good morning to you. Please, can you increase your volume a little bit? Your voice? Okay, Sister Rama, how are you? You're blessed. Thank you so much. Let me extend the question to the dietitian. The caller is saying that she knew of somebody who was having dizziness and weakness, and then when they checked him, he had very high blood pressure. So she wants to know if it is the blood pressure that is making the person so dizzy and very weak.
Can, but then the blood pressure is very high, so over the 200. Then you can maybe develop those kinds of symptoms. But it can be a lot of other things as well.
All right. Okay. So you see, people really wanted that you give some of the symptoms.
Yeah,
they really wanted to know, but you are telling us here, Shanaz, that there are no symptoms for high blood pressure.
Yeah.
But from childhood, from me, I'm from a medical home, I've always been thinking that when people begin to have dizziness and they begin to be tired, then it's important that they go and check their blood pressure. Maybe their blood is beginning to be high.
Yeah, but still, out of research, there are no symptoms. Actually, only if it's very high, or if it rises at once very high, you can get those kind of symptoms. But actually, there aren't any.
All right, we are going to take the news right now, and then we take the question, please. On this discussion, on our health segment, discussing guiding against cardiovascular diseases with Ms. Shanaz, a dietitian. All right, we were discussing on the medicines that we can take to cure high blood pressure, or how to prevent high blood pressure from reoccurring. All right, we have a question. Somebody wants to ask something here in the studio.
Yeah, thank you very much. In fact, I'm enjoying the program because I told you I'm a part of it. What I want to say is that one thing I noticed from my experience that when I'm here, the pressure is always high. But when I get to Africa, Ghana, then the thing becomes level. So does it have anything to do with weather or what? I want to know.
That is what I hear in the practice a lot. If when people go back to their own country, that the pressure is lower and that everything actually is better. They feel better, and if it's really so, I can't say, of course, but I think when you go back to your own country, you feel more happiness. You have less stress. Because I have the same experience. I was brought up on Aruba. I was born here in Holland, and I'm living here for more than 25 years actually again. But still, if I go back to Aruba, you're happier. You have less stress, and you feel better. So I think it contributes to your feeling, but if it's not something that lowers your blood pressure. No. If you have the blood pressure also in Ghana.
Okay.
Yeah. And you need to take the medication. If you get medication, you need to take your medication.
Yeah. Meanwhile, sometimes when I forgotten to take medication, it becomes very hard. But even Ghana, sometimes the whole day I don't take it. Following day I continue, no problem. So I think maybe I agree with you because that place we don't pay a lot of bills.
If you have financial problems
also.
It's
not if you have. I think everybody have.
But it's not only that. It's the whole situation. I think we have a lot of stress or you give yourself a lot of stress. And if you're on vacation, you're out of the normal situation. So it's also always better.
Yeah, I was also thinking that maybe because there when you take in salt, you sweat, the salt is out. But here, no sweating, maybe the salt is in. I don't know. This is my mind anyway.
You lose salt by sweating. You will lose salt. But if you eat a lot of salt, wherever you are, you can develop the high blood pressure. Because I think also people in Ghana where it's maybe where they're sweating, have high blood pressure.
Yeah. Okay, because when I was in Ghana, I've never even heard of high blood pressure. When I came to Europe, I said, what is that? Oh, I said, oh, in my country I never, but the people were that, but we don't know, maybe we don't know the name.
Can be.
The name.
Yeah.
Because when I was home, you said something that you won't know unless you go to the doctor.
Yeah.
But the village I come from, there is nothing like that.
Yes,
There's nothing like that. But I think we are lucky. We have a lot of fruits around us, and we even use fruit as a breakfast. So maybe that will be our remedy.
Yeah.
So, but how much of salt is needed to eat for a day before we sign up?
6 grams of salt for the whole day.
Wow.
Yeah, but that's in everything, because you add salt, but also in products there are salt, of course.
Okay. So what would you like to leave behind as we sign up now? What do you want to register deep in the heart of our listeners, those who have heard you, before we sign up?
I think it is important to have exercise. Besides eating healthy, have exercise per day, because if I look at the patients I see in the practice, they lack the exercise, the daily exercise. I work here in Zuidoost, and I come with my car because I live far, so I can't come otherwise. But I see so much people by the bus stops always.
Yeah.
I always think, walk your children to school. Try to have the half an hour daily, and try to minimize the salt, the salty products, the Maggi cubes, the aromat. Try to minimize it and try to use more herbs to prepare your dinner.
Thank you so much, Ms. Shanaz. Thank you for being with us on Radio Voice of Naija. We hope that we will have you again and again and again to come and tell us some of these tits and bits on health issues. Thank you for being with us.
No, thank you for having me.
Yes.